Okay, good morning, everybody. Today we started. So after protecting basically protecting means taking Adisha take the three vows. Ethic, all of them are ethic basically, but Shila, the more moral ethics, which is Vinaya practice. That is, he took the Vinaya practice and practice. I mean, engaging or practice means he keep the vows, which is a practice, and then he practiced the Bodhisattva vow, take the Bodhisattva vow and practice Bodhisattva vows. Basically, take means he engaged them seriously, and then tantric vow, these three. So now, due to when you practice these three vows, preserve them and you practice them, then what happens? You have accomplished the goals. So what are the goals? Are the Atisha? So, and then also when he practiced, he attained the realizations. So here the completion, here the accomplishment with the training in concentration. So three trainings basically. First, morality training is support the concentration training, and concentration training will lead you to generate the wisdom mind to understand the emptiness. So this is a very sequential practical practice. So the Atisha's accomplishment with the training in the concentration. So this basically how once he have trained in the concentration, how Atisha achieved the accomplishment of concentration. So here the his training in concentration has two aspects. Normally when you say concentration in Sutrayana, we only concentration are talking about one, which is common concentration. We call this shamatha or single point concentration. As a common aspect that we call common, because the shamatha meditation is not only Buddhist, it is common to non-Buddhists also, Hindus and Hindu tradition also, they have achieved the shamatha meditation, single point concentrations. So that why it's a common. He achieved the supply mind of shamatha. That is concentration is called more settler mind, single point concentration. Settler mind point of concentration is called shamatha. As for the uncommon aspect, so this when we say uncommon, it's not common with the non-Buddhists. It's only Buddhist practice, especially Vajrayana. Vajrayana Buddhists only practice that. So that's why it's become uncommon. He gained the utmost stability of the generation stage. So here, generation stage in Tantric, there is, you should also know this. Maybe I have shared you before, but they have four classes. Tantric, four classes are the action tantra, performance tantra, and yoga tantra, and highest yoga tantra. So there's a different level of the way to practice. And then there is this in the highest yoga tantra was divided into two stages. This is called two level, which is called generation stage and then completion stage. So basically what is the highest yoga tantra, mostly dealing with the energies, So energy, they use energy and they transform the ordinary perception into divine perception, or sometimes we call pure perception. So this is a tantric term. So if you hear this, it's very good to you to feature to familiar with these terms. So generation stage is only generation stage, and the completion stage will practice only in the highest yoga tantra, not in three lower tantra. Three lower tantra is action tantra, performance tantra, and yoga tantra. Okay, so here if we feature time, we will go through all this a little bit, just basic idea about tantra. So what happens, the Atisha attained the generation stage of mental stability. That is his most settler, stable mind, concentration mind, more stable than the shamatha meditation. So he attained that. Moreover, he trained in yogic awareness discipline for 3 or perhaps 6 years. So he have especially this special kind of yogic means nenjo, the special kind of mental training in the generation stage. So he have done this for 3 or 6 years training, training for this. So that is showing the accomplishment of concentration stage. But why the concentration space training is very important, it too generated the wisdom mind to understand the reality of the all phenomena. Okay, and also in tantric they say to realize the induality of mind and bliss. So emptiness, mind, nature, mind, and bliss. Nature, mind is aspect. The nature is emptiness, and aspect is emptiness, and nature is bliss. So anyway, this Atisha attend all these two mental concentrations. In terms of sutra, he attend the shamatha meditation. In tantra, he attend the outmost stability of generation stage. So it's the generation stage where he able to see himself as a deity and all the environment as the mandala of the deity.
大家早。那我们上次谈到了，就是阿底峡尊者他接受跟承许了3种律仪。那在戒学方面获得了真悟的功德。那他在接受律仪之后呢，是非常仔细的守护这些律仪。那这3种律仪包括了别解脱的律仪。那阿底峡尊者是的是圆满比丘戒。那还有菩萨律仪，最后的金刚乘的律，就是密咒律。那阿底峡尊者呢，由于圆满的实修了戒学，所以呢，使得他获得了戒学方面的真悟功德。那这是他在修行戒学的时候得到的想要达成的目标。那我们之前提过，三学有它一定的次第，三学的正悟的升起有它一定的次第，也就是说，戒学的正悟的升起呢，能够支持定学正悟的升起。那有了定学正悟作为基础，那能够支持我们升起对于空性或者正悟的慧学。所以戒定慧三学是有它一定的次第的。那在定学方面，阿底峡尊者获得的定学的功德呢，是他在经教圣门的部分呢，他获得的共同定学的功德，也就是他获得了奢摩他，让他能够专注以静。那在这边提到说，他是共同共者，就是它是一个共同的定学，因为呢，它是共内外道都有的，也就是说，不只是佛教徒，连外道像印度教徒，他们都能够获得这样子的奢摩他专注以静的定的正悟。但是呢，在不共定学的方面呢，也就是在提到这是不共于外道的，也就是说，在佛教的密咒圣里面呢，会提到四部的语切，就是事部、行部、语切部以及最高的无上语切部。那只有在最高的无上语切部里面会有2种的次第，一种是升起次第，跟另外一种是圆满次第。那升起次第的呃之后呢，会观自己为本尊，然后以及能够观本尊所依的坛城。那在无上瑜伽里面呢，最重要的是能够因为他谈到的都是有关于能量的转换，所以呢在这边呢要能够升起镜像。那呃在这边呢如果能够在无上瑜伽部呢呃获得很好的定学的修持的话呢，能够使心呢进入最极为稳定的状态。那在这里呢，提到的是，阿底峡尊者呢，他让自己的心呢，处于这种稳定的状态，就是升起密法的无上瑜伽最高的次第的这种修行的方式呢，他修了3年或者6年。那这种方式呢，可以指得这个修行者呢，他去了解心的本性、心的本质，以及 有关于大乐或者是狂喜的本质。那有关于密法的这些名相或者是更深入的内容呢，那仁波切说希望将来是还有机会可以为大家讲说的。That's it.
So now Atisha also accomplished with the training in the wisdom. Once you train in shamatha meditation or concentration meditation, purpose of developing concentration meditation is to develop the wisdom mind to realize emptiness. So this has also two things, common and uncommon. So here when common refer, uncommon and common refer to inside the Buddhist, like this. His training in wisdom has two aspects. For the common aspect, he obtained the concentration of special insight. So here the concentration, when you develop concentration, then based on single point concentration, you started realizing emptiness. That is called insight, in special insight. So not only meditate, not only attain the shamatha meditation, the shine, not only the shine or shamatha meditation, but based on the shine or shamatha meditation, then you realize emptiness. That is called special insight. So Atisha has obtained the concentration of special insight, which is a union of shamatha and special insight. So basically, why is a union? Based on the shamatha meditation, and then you started investigating the true nature of the phenomena, and there is you are trying to realize the emptiness, the lack of intrinsic nature of the phenomena. That's called special insight. As for, so that is a common. This is common to Mahayana and the Hinayana schools. So both common to Hinayana and Mahayana schools, and they also Vajrayana school is common. But for the uncommon aspect, so what uncommon aspect he attained is he obtained the extraordinary concentration, the completion stage. So completion stage, he attained this realization of final stage of completion stage, where he realized emptiness and bliss. So when you reach this stage, final stage of completion, the completion stage, and then you see your nature of mind with the non-dualistic of emptiness and bliss together. So that considered to be our highest special insight into uncommon aspect of wisdom in the so this uncommon, why? Because this is only practiced by Mahayana, especially Vajrayana school. It's not the Hinayana schools and not accepting this or not practicing this, basically. So this is how he developed the special how he developed the wisdom, common aspect of wisdom, and the special the uncommon aspect of the wisdom mind. So he developed these two common and uncommon wisdom accomplishment of wisdom mind. Yeah.
接下来我们进到阿底峡尊者已经获得了慧学证悟的这个部分。那阿底峡尊者所获得的慧学的证悟呢，一样分成共跟不共的方面。那阿底峡尊者呢，在前面我们提到他已经具有定学的证悟。那定学呢，获得定学的目的呢，是为了能够进一步的获得慧学的证悟。那慧学的证悟呢，主要是要证悟空性。那在共同的慧学的部分呢，会提到就是说，这个共呢是与内道的小圣共，也就是说呢，这个共不再是提到外道，外道不是这边要谈的范围。这不是这边共要讨论的范围，这边的共呢是指内道里大小圣共同获得的证悟，都可以获得的证悟。也就是说呢，在这边呢，阿底峡尊者获得的是止观双运的毗婆舍那，或者是我们翻成意思的话是圣观，也就是说能够在有定学，就是能够专注一境的情况之下，还能够去检择一切法的实相，一切法的空性。那这样的情况呢，就叫做已经止跟观双运了。那那毗婆舍那呢，是一种 特别的观修，所以呢，这边提到的是阿底峡尊者已经获得了直观双运的毗婆舍那，那他能够在有定专注一境的情况下呢，去观察一切法是没有自性的。那接下来提到的不共呢，是指这是不共于小圣的，也就是小圣行者他是没有或是不承许这样子的修学方式的。那这个不共呢，是指这样子的修持只有大圣，而且特别是大圣中的密法行者才会有的。那这边呢是指圆满，这边是指刚刚讲的无上瑜伽部的2个次第里面的圆满次第。那这边呢是在圆满次第里面能够把大乐跟正空会做结合，也就是说心呢可以证悟空性以及大乐，所以呢这边的不共的圆满次第或不共的慧学，就是透过这样子的心去同时体会证悟到大乐以及空性，所以说的是获得这样子的圆满次第。Let's see.
So now, actually, in the detailed lumbrims and other commentary, Atisha's how they gain this knowledge, especially how he generated, how he accomplished attain the concentration mind, and how he attained the special insight, wisdom mind. All they have very detailed, but this is very quick. Summarize so that we will be discuss more of this, but you should remember all the Buddhist practice. Also, you should think right now when you listen and or study or practice Dhamma, main purpose is not to yourself to become enlightened and then you free from suffering. That is not the motivation. Main motivation here, especially when you engaging into Mayana practice. Mayana practice main purpose is to become enlightened, to benefit all sentient beings. So therefore now Atisha have accomplished the training in ethics and training in then accomplished the concentration and special insight, and then he attend accomplish the wisdom mind. So now he accomplished all this excellent quality. Is benefit. What is the purpose? His purpose. He have this he attend all this quality. It's not only for him to become enlightened, but main purpose is to, especially in Bodhisattva and Mayana practice, main aim is to benefit others, to serve the Dhamma. To serve the Dhamma. Why have to serve the Dhamma? Because Dhamma is the only way to free all sentient beings from suffering. That without practicing Dhamma, there's no way, there's no other option, no way to individual beings to free from the suffering. Therefore, how Atisha performed this for the sake of the teaching after obtaining excellent qualities. So now, since he have trained, receive all these vows and practice these vows and attain all the good quality, now Atisha, what is the final ultimate goal is to serve the Dhamma and serve the sentient beings. So the deeds be accomplished for sake of teachings are for 2 aspects. So this basically Atisha case. In Atisha's case, he was in India, and then he was in great scholar in Nalanda, and he teach there. And after Tibetan king sent his follower to invite Atisha with there's a very interesting story about this. So if you in future you can go through how Lama Chanju and Hishe, the king and his nephew in the eastern Tibet, they are so much interest in learning Buddhism, and with a great devotion and a very difficult hardship, they send in his nephew, the Lama Chanju, the king sent his nephew to India to invite the Atisha. In those days, to travel from Tibet to India, it takes months, because there's no transportation, have to walk through, and walk through, cross the Himalaya and cross all the Nepal, and then go to India, especially in central India, the UP, Uttar Pradesh, that area, like Bihar, Bodh Gaya, near that area. So it's very difficult. So since Atisha was there, and then later he came to India, now after his attainment, accomplishment, how he served the Dharma and served the sentient being. This will divide into two things. How he did in his activity, Dharma activity in India, and his Dharma activity in Tibet. Okay, so his deeds in India and his deeds in Tibet. Okay, at the time of at the temple of great enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, Atisha defeated the misguided. So how he served the Dhamma, misguided proponent of the non-Buddhist doctrine 3 times by means of dharma. So those days in India also they have a lot of non-Buddhist scholars from especially Muslim Hindu tradition. They are opposing in Buddhist beliefs and Buddhist, especially Buddhist views, and also Buddhist ethics. So they are mixing all this, and it will be harm the Dharma, and especially for Dharma follower, they're confused, and this. So Atisha debate with them, misguided proponents of non-Buddhist doctrines 3 times. So they have Atisha debate with these non-Buddhist scholars that their view are not right view, and so in Indian tradition, if non-Buddhists and Buddhists have acumen with different views, especially tenets in terms of their different view, then they debate, by debate with mostly in logics, so that's how he served the Dharma. He debated 3 times. Means of Dharma means with the logic and the reasoning, and he debated these non-Buddhist scholars 3 times, different scholars, not only one, thereby maintaining the Buddha's teaching, and so that he will able to flourish the Buddha's teachings, and with the pure views, like he also eliminated tens of ignorance. So many people have ignorance about Buddhist views and misconceptions. So he have clear all these misconceptions, ignorance, by demonstrating what Buddha's main intent, what is the main Buddha's teachings, views, So he served the Dharma, not only defeating the non-Buddhist scholars on their view, but also he will demonstrate, he teach and eliminated ignorance people, ignorance followers, and misconception, clean up the misconception, and Tao with regard to the higher and the lower Buddhist system. So, and also among the Buddhism, they have a Mahayana, Hinayana and Mahayana have a lot of confusion in the view and the ethics. They have some, confusion. So he cleaned up this by the doubt. He cleaned because he will lay all this different view according to Hinayana, according to Mahayana. He will lay out all this system according to Buddha's teaching. So whereby he spread the teachings. Then he started teaching Hinayana tradition, Mahayana tradition. He accordingly and clean up all the doubts and misconception and clean the ignorance. And thus he was able to spread the teachings far and wide. Thus he was regarded by all the school as the crown jewel free from partiality. So many Buddhist scholars, some of them follow Hinayana, some of them Mahayana. Some master, they're always thinking that they tenets are higher something. But most of these great scholars like Atisha, they are impartial. They are impartiality. They are like, they always respect, because Buddha's whole teachings, whether it's Hinayana, Mahayana, and especially for Bodhisattva, have to practice all of this, and cannot be contradicted with all this Mahayana and Hinayana tradition. So Atisha have become all the Hinayana schools. Among the Hinayana school, they have many different branches. All they, normally Hinayanas, or they don't much respect to the Mahayana, because sometimes there's a misconception that Mahayana teaching is not pure. It is not taught by Buddha himself. Hinayana teachings, Buddha's direct teaching, they have misconceptions. So Atisha have cleaned all this, and the Atisha teach and spread it all, both these traditions, and both tradition, or you can say vehicles, and therefore all the schools. This is a Buddhist school. So Buddhist school, they have internet wise, view wise, they have 4 different schools, and vehicle was the 3 vehicles. So all of they consider the Atisha as a crown of the the traditions. You know, like if they are very highly scholar who are expert in the different schools, then everybody respect. Like that, Atisha had gained this kind of popularity and respect and veneration from all the schools because of his impartiality in all the Buddhist schools, and he was a very great scholar for all the schools. Yeah.
好，那我们这边呢，因为是略论的关系，所以我们对于阿底峡尊者获得的定学、慧学或者是戒学的这3学的部分呢，是以比较摘要以及总结的方式。例如说，那如果大家去看其他，就是像广论或者是说其他道次第的著作的话，可能会有更详细的有关于阿底峡尊者获得这3学证悟的一些更细微的描述。那我们接下来呢，在就是大家呢听闻跟实修或是实修这些内容的时候呢，仁波切希望大家不要想说哦，只是为了自己要获得证悟，或者是获得解脱佛果位，或者是为了自己要离苦。那我们大家都是大乘的佛教徒，特别是大乘佛教徒呢，我们在做任何的听闻修持的时候，我们不能只想到自己，我们要想到我们获得证悟、获得解脱成佛是为了什么？我们获得证悟、获得解脱成佛，想要离开一切苦，想要获得一切，就是远离一切痛苦，是为了一切的如母有情，而不是为了我们自己。所以呢，同样的，阿底峡尊者他在获得这些3学的功德，他不是为了他自己，他获得这些戒定慧3学的功德呢，他有他获得这些功德之后，他要解脱成佛，他也不是为了自己，他是为了要救度一切如母有情。然后救度一切如母有情，最好的方式呢是透过弘扬教法。那弘扬教法或者是把教法传递下去，是能够救护一切如母有情唯一的方式，没有其他的方式可以救护一切有情。那所以呢，阿底峡尊者在获得了3学的证悟之后呢，他接下来获得功德以他对于圣教呢做了呃弘扬佛法的事业。那就阿底峡尊者的情况而言呢，他是在印度做了弘扬佛法的事业，例如说在印度那时候的那烂陀大学或那烂陀学院呢，他弘扬了教法，还有呢他在西藏呢也弘扬了教法。那关于阿底峡尊者的呃或由西藏东部那时候王国的2位国王菩提光跟智慧光跟菩提光2位国王迎请到西藏去弘扬教法的故事呢，等大家将来呢也可以再看到。那当时的2位国王呢，就是智慧光国王派了他的呃侄子菩提光王，然后呢是由印度是由西藏呢千里迢迢到印度，然后去迎请阿底峡尊者。那时候西藏到印度之间的交通并没有像现在这么的便利。那从印度到西藏，从西藏到印度那时候主要是靠步行。那要穿过喜马拉雅山，经过尼泊尔，再到阿底峡尊者那时候所在的 Bihar 省，就是大家会去菩提盖亚的那个地方，那其实需要好几个月才能走到。所以呢，所以那时候的两位西藏国王的确为了呃能够使得佛陀教法在西藏弘扬，付出了非常大的心力，以及可以看出他们为了教法弘扬所付出的努力。好，那首先我们先提到就是阿底峡尊者在印度所做的弘扬佛法事业的部分呢，在这边可以看得到，于印度所做事业呢，也就是在金刚座的大菩提寺呢，曾经3次以正法击败外道的恶论主持佛教。那个时候呢，在印度有很多的外道的祖师跟承续者，那主要是持续回教的，还有印度教的呢见解。他们对于佛法的就是佛教的见解以及佛教的就是戒律啊、行持等等，他们并不是很认同。那时候呢，也有他们很多的追随者跟弟子，而阿底峡尊者是3次对于这些恶见呢，呃。以逻辑跟正理的方式呢，去驳倒对方。那以及呢，阿底峡尊者除了对于外道能够善加驳斥之外呢，也善尽除自部上下圣教所有未达邪解疑惑恶垢等。那对于自己的就是包括佛教内部有上下就是大圣与小圣等等的各种不同的见解。那阿底峡尊者呢，为佛法服务跟成事的方式呢，就是想办法去澄清以及去除这些无明跟无知，就是对于佛法教义呃有不同，就是有不了解或者是有错误见解的这些人，阿底峡尊者是非常清楚的为他们阐明了，或者是破斥了他们的见解。那在小乘部派里面呢，那特别他们又有很多的呃不同的就是在小乘宗义里面，他们有很多不同的部派。那阿底峡尊者也是就一一的破斥了，并为他们阐明了正确的正见。所以呢，阿底峡尊者呢，呃的声明呢就远近驰名，而且呢。一切部呢不分宗派，皆视阿底峡为顶庄严。也就是说，像大小圣他们自己部派的这些学者或者是大师，他们有时候可能对于呃其他的部派的学者大师，其实是呃并没有很尊重的。可是因为阿底峡尊者他不分宗派，都给予一定的尊重。然后而且能够清楚的阐释佛教各宗派的不同的见解以及对戒律的行持，所以呢不分大小圣，不分大小圣中的任何宗派，那包括佛教4部宗义的宗义师，以及声闻圣、独觉圣以及大圣的所有的行者跟见解。支持者都对阿底峡尊者非常的尊敬，视他为顶庄严。所以呢，阿底峡尊者在印度呢为弘扬佛法做的城市呢，呃就像刚刚所说的一样。So
Oh yeah. So and then in now he also main Dhamma practice Dhamma serve the Dhamma and the main Dhamma activity was happen in Tibet more than the India. So in Tibet, what Atisha have done in Tibet is we normally in the long Lamrim section they will divide it into 4. How he eliminated false conception about the Dhamma and founded a tradition in Tibet, and how he eliminated force that damage pure contact and the 3 trainings. So they have a lot of problem in Tibet that time regarding the pure contact and also the lot of misleading from fake Indian Buddhist monks. So since the 7th century to 834 CP, I think that time there is Tama king was end up slow. No, Tama before 7th century, one of the Tibetan king called Sonzai Gampo bring the Buddhism and it become flourish very well. Then there is one king. He in 834 CB. I don't know what that means. CB. There is one king called the Endi Buddhist king. He practiced mostly the shamanism, that was Buddhist Pen practice, and then he tried to destroy all the Buddhism, especially destroy the temple, and monks and nuns expelled from the temple or killed, and and then he started to push the practice of the shamanism or Pen tradition. So the Tibetan Buddhism was very badly degenerated and damaged in terms of view, terms of conduct. So we will go this. So and then what happens? So in Atisha, then is Thalama and his nephew in his deed in Tibet. Thalama and his nephew. Thalama is the king of the Eastern Tibet. There is a kingdom called Kurke Kingdom. It's these days many people visit there as a tourist near the Mount Kailash. So it's very, very ancient Buddhist kingdom. So two great translators, they sent Lalama Chanju and his nephew Chanju and Chanju. They sent two great translators. Those days they select a very intelligent young boy, and then they train the language and they send to India to train as a Buddhist, and then or they translate many textbooks. So they send these two great translators, Gyatsundu Singhi and then Nakso Chundim Gyawa to India, one after another. They send, and since they send 16 young students bride, and then only these two are able to travel, because most of them die when they're traveling across the Himalaya, and then they die on the road, die on the way. Since they took great pain again and again to invite Atisha, he traveled to Apongari. So after Atisha realized, the Tibetan kings request him why he have to come to Tibet to teach. And then they described that Tibetan Buddhism was badly damaged and destroy all these non-Buddhists, and especially there is no peer contact. And many Indian false great masters came, and then they started promoting unethical practice, like called the union and release, union and liberation. They're so called like that, but they are like more like sexual misconduct. All this they started spreading, and then sometimes they teach some sort of Hindu rituals, like, so it was badly damaged in Tibet at that time. So when Tibetan king sent this message to Atisha that why he have to come, then actually that time Atisha was not supposed to. Atisha was actually one of the main scholar in the Nalanda, and the Nalanda master, they didn't let him go. And but due to this, then Atisha decided to go to Tibet and to revive the Buddhism. So since they took great pain again and again invite Atisha, he traveled to Apongari, Western Tibet, where the Mount Kailash lies. During the region of Chanju, Lalama Chanju, this is a king, and was a request to provide a pure form of. So after Atisha traveled to Tibet, he reached the eastern Tibet, and then this king called Chanju is nephew. Halama Yishe is his brother, who is the king. Was then they Chanju request, because Atisha have not met his brother King Yeshua, because he already put into prison and died by a Muslim in near the Eastern Tibet. So this is a long story. Anyway, pure form of Buddha's teaching, thereupon he spread the teaching by composing lamp for the path to enlightenment. So what happened when he, it's because in Buddhism, in Tibetan Buddhism in those days, it's badly damaged in terms of view and contact. So there is no references, because all the references are destroyed by this king, the anti-Buddhist king called Langtama. So what happened? Then Atisha started composing this. He's composed this lamp of path to enlightenment, which is the base of the Lamrim Chemo. The text bringing together all the point of Sutra and Tantra. So why this is so carefully designed and simplified and very practical, because it's a very simplified, because easy to understand by all the level, and very practical to it's included all the Sutra and Tantra teaching. So it's very condensed and very easy to understand, and easy to very practical to apply. It's a systematic, condense them into applicable stages. So that's why it is called stage, because it's a systematic practical application put into condensed form. And then as well as other texts, specifically and then he composed some other, he used a very important text. Specifically he spent 3 years in Ngaris, 3 years in Eastern Tibet, 9 years in Nyeta. Nyeta means not south central Western Tibet. 5 years elsewhere in Central Tibet. Central Tibet, mostly Lhasa and around that. And then Tsang is more towards the central West Tibet, teaching the fortunate all the scripture and instruction of Sutra and Tantra. So he teaches Sutra and Tantra to many students and his followers. He thereby restored the teaching that had declined. So during the King Langtama, who is the anti-Buddhist, Buddhism was huge decline. So Buddha's teaching cause those that remain or flourish. Then it makes Atisha's teaching and his textbook called Lamp to the Path to Enlightenment started flourishing whole the Tibet, and everybody started following, and that's why its teaching was flourish, and it's really flourish wide and far. Correct those that had been polluted by the error or misconception. So they have also the different misconception about a view and ethics from Indian non-Buddhist, this non-Buddhist so-called master. They came to Tibet to teach, so they spread misconcept thoughts from Hindus and other traditions. So they have misconception errors. Atisha able to clean up all this and ensuring that the precious teaching were free from all the flaws. So therefore Atisha was able to clean up all the misconception and polluted different views and in non-Buddhist travelers. They call travelers, means they have red travelers, yellow, white cloth travelers from India. Those days, in Tibetan believe the Indian master. Like right now, in sometimes Tibetan monks go to Taiwan, so they believe everything like Tibetan Grand Master. Those days also in Tibet also, if somebody come from monk's robe or like some kind of yogi come from India, and Tibetans started respect them and try to listen and teaching. So that's why they able to pollute it. But Atisha have cleaned all of these. So yeah, up to here.
好，那我们刚刚谈到了就是阿底峡尊者于印度所做的弘法事业。那其实接下来我们要谈到阿底峡尊者于西藏所做的弘法事业。那其实阿底峡尊者所做的弘法事业呢，主要是在西藏所进行的。 那如果是在就是道次第的一些论著里面，他会把这个地方分为4个科判，就是第一个是清除对佛法的邪执，开创新轨。那还有第2个科判就是阿底峡尊者他造论的3个圆满因。那另外还有就是说，因为这3种圆满因，它就可以确定佛陀的意趣等等。然后还有最后一个就是呃等等的这样子的还有阿底峡尊者精通5名，以及阿底峡尊者他的弟子有哪些殊胜的弟子等等。好，那在这边呢，我们暂时不会这么样的细讲。那主要要谈到就是阿底峡尊者当时为什么会呃前往西藏。那时候呢，因为西藏是处于一个佛教的西藏的佛教呢，已经处于一种非常混乱以及衰败的状态。那有很多的假的上师，就是从印度来的假上师，在西藏里面。那为什么会有这样的情况呢？那西藏曾经有一度呢，在西元7世纪松赞干布王的时期，西藏是呃西藏的佛法其实是非常的兴盛的。但是在西元835年，那时候呢，因为有了琅达玛这个国王，他是非常反佛教的。那他主要修持的是当地的像萨满教这样子的当地宗教，就是本教。所以呢，他那时候呢毁坏了许多的佛寺，而且驱逐了僧人，甚至杀害僧人。所以在那个时候呢，佛教的教法呢，那就陷入一种衰败混乱的状态。那在那个时候，在西藏的东部呢，有 Gugay 这样子的一个国家的国王叔侄2人。那包括也就是智慧光跟菩提光这2位国王。那他们呢就想要从西藏对不起，从印度呢引请一些智者来弘扬佛教。那时候呢因为一些缘故，那智慧光国王呢已经被囚禁在监狱里面，甚至已经死亡了。那就只好由菩提光国王，然后派遣聪明的医师以及一些年轻的西藏男子呢，要到印度去求法。那他们已经先受过了语言文字的训练，都能够翻译典籍。但是呢，在这16个年轻的西藏男子之中呢，真正在途中就是翻越喜马拉雅山的这个途中没有死亡，最终能够到达印度的呢，只剩下了精进师子跟拿错医师这2人。那他们是多次的前往了印度，想要引起阿底峡尊者。那可是呢，因为阿底峡尊者那个时候呢，他是那烂陀寺非常有名的智者，所以那烂陀寺其实并不想要呃尊者离开。但是呢，尊者因为考量到是说，在西藏现在的西藏当时的佛法衰败的情况，就是有很多假的佛教上师，然后他们就是宣传一些错误的思想跟概念，而且对于戒律的解释也非常的奇怪。那他们甚至是就是透过一些印度的仪式。然后去推行了一些像非犯行这样子的行为。那所以呢，阿底峡尊者最后决定还是呃出发往西藏去到西藏去复兴佛法跟佛教。那首先阿底峡尊者是先到了阿里，那他在阿里住了3年。然后呢，再来在聂汤住了9年。那还有在前藏后藏，然后住了大约5年。那因为那时候呢，呃然后呢，在那个时候呢，阿底峡尊者在这期间呢，他造作了 就是我们现在所读的这一切的道次第教授的根本论，就是或者有人翻成基本的基础的基论，那就是菩提道举论。那这个呢，称它为根本论或是基论呢的原因，是因为它非常容易了解，就是这是阿底峡尊者精心设计所撰写的一本论，也就是说，对于所有程度的行者，他都可以了解这本论，而且呢，他把所有的呃经经论跟密法的内涵都统摄精简的在这部论中有系统性的写出，也就是关于一位士夫他要如何从他所处的阶段到成佛之间所应该要修学的次第，完全的都非常的清楚的写在这部论当中。那阿底峡尊者呢？那他就在西藏为有善缘者，然后开示了这些显密的教典，而且去教授。然后呢，对于佛教它规模已经没落的，它就是重新建立；那还尚存的，它就令其增广。然后呢，受到那些假的就是假的上师所蒙蔽或欺瞒的，他就为这些邪解垢秽所污染者善加净除，让佛教呢能够确定的完全无误，而且清楚的能够在西藏弘扬。而且那个时候呢，就是因为就是有关于像服装穿着等等都非常的不一致，那可能有一些印度人，他就可能穿着红袍，穿着白袍，然后就到了西藏，我讲到自己是上师，就像有时候我们在台湾也会遇到一些，就是会看到一些情况是，好像某些人穿了一些特殊的装扮，就好像他有在修行，或者是他是什么上师一样。所以像这样子的这些邪见或者是一些错误的行持，阿底峡都尚未尽除，使得西藏的佛法弘扬能够更为的亲近。Let's again.
Welcome. So, and then now here and this next one is actually next one is there are three conditions. So he, as I told you, he was clarified in all the misconception and also build a strong foundation of Buddhist, restore the strong foundation, and also he have able to clean the conduct because they have many misbehaving conduct practice in Tibet before. So he cleaned up all of this, and then he become he composed this Buddhist text Lamb to the Path to Enlightenment. So in Tibetan, in the Buddhist tradition, if you wanted to compose a special text for textbook, then based on Buddha's teaching, you must at least have three quality. If you don't have a three quality, but at least you must have one quality. So they are the three conditions for excellent in the composition of text, clarifying the sage's intention. Sages means Buddha's intention. So if you were to write a commentary textbook on Buddha's teaching, then you must have three excellent qualities. Three conditions should be have that quality, should have that composer or author. So the first being learned in the five area of knowledge. So in five, they call it sometimes five sign Rinenga. So one is language. You must have a very good language skill, written, writing, a very good language skill. And second, you must have learned in the pramana, in the logic and the reasoning. Logic and reasoning is the one of the most important in Buddhist practice, because Buddhists are all like Buddha's teaching are why like that. It's all about reasoning or not much believing faith. like other traditions, like other religion. It's mostly about reason why it is like this. So it's reasoning and logic is very important. That is the second is knowledge Atisha was mastered. And then third one is medicine. So medicine, you have to learn the medicine to benefit others as you because we attain the precious human rebirth, precious human birth. This has a lot of ups and downs, sickness, aging. These will be maintained to practice Dharma teaching. So one has to, if you are especially Buddhist practitioner, you must learn the art of healing. That is called learn about medicine. And third one is craft, arts of craft. Arts of craft is like you are very good in, making things, like in building things. So in Bodhisattva, I have to learn this, and this also practice. So he was master in this art and craft. And last one is Buddha's knowledge in Buddha's teachings, Buddha's knowledge in Dharma itself. So he was a master in these five signs. First, number one condition is he have this excellent quality. Three condition. One excellent is two. He was master in five area of knowledge. Having received, then second is having received instruction on how to put into practice meaning of those texts, which can be traced back to the instruction of the perfectly complete Buddha in unbroken lineage of excelled masters. So in Buddhism, most important is the lineage is very important, especially in Vajrayana and Mahayana, because this unbroken lineage, if you have received the teachings, if you don't receive this unbroken lineage, then the instruction has no power. So this power was carried through the unbroken lineage of the from the Buddha to until now. So the Atisha have whatever he have learned about the Buddhist knowledge on terms of the three basket and three higher training, all they have here unbroken lineage traced back to Buddha. So he have already we already discussed. Do you remember that he have received this master who have attained this level, that level? So if there is lineage is unbroken, and then there is no way to attain this higher realization, especially in Buddhism. So that shows that his lineage is unbroken lineage. And then lineage masters, and having received the last one is condition is having received the permission to teach through the vision of personal deity. So this is very important. Most of the masters, they have a personal deity. Personal deity means they have a tantric enlightened deities who you personally practice and worship that deity, and then you have a vision, direct contact with this vision, and they will tell you what to do. So and the Atisha have that, he have a personal vision. Do you remember he have a vision about Heva Raja, and then also he have a vision of the specially vision, his personal deity is the Grintara. So he have a Grintara vision to permission to compose the textbook. So to compose the textbook, you must master in the five signs. You receive the unbroken lineage of the Buddha's teaching, and finally you must have a vision with your direct personal deity. So Atisha have the text should be composed with at least one of these cause for excellence. So in Buddhism, if you want to compose the commentary textbook on Buddha's teaching, then you must at least one of these qualities. But Atisha have all three qualities, and it will turn out that all the more excellent of all three are completed. So Atisha have all these excellent three qualities. This great master Atisha possesses all three. As for help from personal deity, and so the first two we already discussed how he trained in five signs, he become master in five signs, and then his second one he already we already had discussed that he had met a great master who have realized the very high level realization. We already discussed. Now, last one is in Nakso Lotsa, one of his students, the translator, he invited to Tibet. As he said that in his praise, Nakso Lotsa wrote this 80 praise of 80 80 verses about Atisha's biography. So say from the glorious Heva Raja, you see he have a vision of direct vision for Heva Raja, from the Trasamaya Raja. So this another deity, I don't know which one is this, from the heroic Lokeshwara. And so he has also a direct vision from the Lokeshwara, means our Lokeshwara, Bodhisattva, compassion Buddha. And for noble reverend Tara also he have. So he have this vision of these 4 deities. And others you have vision and permission. Thus in dreams and through the direct perception. So he have vision not only through dream, but also he able to see directly and have a vision and connect and ask them. So he is able to connect with these 3 personal deity. You perpetually listen to teaching, and then this master have highly realized they have a direct, not only direct vision, they can receive teaching from them directly in the vision and teaching, and on the holy, profound and vast Dhamma. So what teaching he receiving? He's receiving teaching from profound and vast. Profound vast is actually in Lamrim's main 2 teaching. His vast is most about the Bodhisattva path method aspect, which is more about path, and then bodhicitta, how to generate bodhicitta, like that. And the profound is more about emptiness, view, learning about. So Atisha is receiving teaching from these 4 deity directly, receiving a Dhamma teaching on these profound and vast teachings. Yeah.
好，那我们接下来要看到的呢是阿底峡尊者呢，他在于藏中所做事业中的第2个，就是他造了菩提道举论，而且他造菩提道举论的时候呢，是具有3个圆满因的。那我们前面提到的就是说，阿底峡尊者能够清楚的就是破除了对于佛教的恶见，而且呢能够重新的复兴了佛教的见解跟行持。再来呢，就是阿底峡尊者他造了菩提道举论。那一般在西藏的传统里面呢，如果要造论呢，那是至少要具足1个圆满因啊。但是阿底峡尊者不只具足了1个圆满因，他具足了3个的圆满因。那这3个圆满因是什么呢？那首先第一个呢，就是阿底峡尊者精通5明。那阿底峡尊者精通5明这一点呢，我们在之前曾经提过。那这5明里面包括了第一个就是对于语言文字的善巧，这是第1名。第2个呢是音明学的音明，也就是对于逻辑、正音、推导的这些阿底峡尊者非常的善巧。那这也是佛教的特色，佛陀教法的特色之一，也就是佛陀教法呢，不是教人盲信，不是迷信，它主要的教法内涵呢，都是围着逻辑以及正因在背后作为支持的。那第3个呢是一方明，也就是说呢，身为一位就是菩萨或者是修行者，那对于自己的暇满人生应该要非常的重视，所以呢，任何会让我们这些暇满人生就是衰退或者是衰弱，例如说我们总要面对衰老的问题，那或者是有一些病痛的问题，如果自己能够具备这方面的知识，让我们呢能够维持这样子身心的健康，那这一点非常的重要。那再来呢，第4点呢，就是阿底峡尊者具有工巧明，也就是说，在手艺方面，不管是建造啦，或者是塑造啦，或者是需要打造任何的东西，那这点呢，也是菩萨应该要学的，就如同之前我们在谈阿底峡尊者他精通显密以及显教内涵里面的大小圣理一样。那菩萨呢，为了要能够度化众生，对于一切的包括教法中的大小圣，以及对于这些像是工巧方面的学问，其实也应该要能够精通善巧。那最后呢，就是最后的第5名呢，就是阿底峡尊者对于佛学非常的精通以及善巧。 那这是圆满因中的第一个。那第二个呢，就是阿底峡尊者呢，他具有口诀，也就是说，阿底峡尊者所受到的这些教授呢，就是佛法的教授呢，是从正等觉、正等正觉佛陀圆满正悟的佛陀，一直以来传下来到阿底峡尊者的上师，这中间都是完全没有间断的。那在西藏的佛法里面呢，传承这件事情非常的重要。也就是说呢，要能够有无垢而且不间断的传承，也就是能够这个教法的传承能够追溯回佛陀，这样子的传承才会有力量。所以呢，阿底峡尊者他之前所呃获得的，包括经律论三藏的这样子的佛教的教圣教，以及他自己所证悟的三学，就是正圣教，这些呢都是透有就是从上师那边、从师长那边获得了无误且不间断的传承，才能够获得这样子的证悟。那呃。要有这样子的传承呢，呃，这些修行者才能够获得更高的证悟，要不然如果这个修行者他没有得到这样子的传承，其实他的证悟呢是没有办法再是提升到另外就是更高的阶位的。然后再来第三个圆满因呢，就是阿底峡是可以亲见本尊的。也就是说，我们在看师长的传记的时候，通常都会看到，就是说很多的师长他有自己比较亲近的本尊，那阿底峡尊者他自己也有，那他在他是可以就是阿底峡尊者呢是可以亲见这些本尊的。那他的本尊包括喜金刚，包括绿度母等等。那在阿底峡尊者的例子，就是我们前面所提到的，拿错医师所为阿底峡著作的80在里面，曾经提到说，阿底峡是尊者是可以见到喜金刚，然后三昧野王雄猛士自在，还有阿底峡尊者最很重要的本尊绿度母等等。那他可以是亲见他们，就是在镜像中，他可以亲见这三位本尊，然后从他们尊前获得教授。那而且获得的教授呢是广大型的教授，就是包括菩提心的教授，而且呢还有甚深见的教授，也就是有关于如何证悟空性，就是获得空性见的教授。那阿底峡尊者是具备了这三个圆满因，造论的圆满因的。
Okay, so maybe we stop here. It's already time.
好，那我们今天的课程就上到这里为止。
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Saturday. Have a wonderful day.